Well, it's a good evening from Australia, 7 o'clock. And, well, it's our normal Thursday night after doing a special last night. Been fantastic. Well, a big day today here in Queensland. And without further ado, I'm going to switch straight across upstairs to the girls in the Northern Hemisphere. It's a good morning to you girls over there. How are you?
Hello, Jeffrey. Good morning. Good morning from England. And welcome, Anna, who's up in Scotland.
Good morning and good evening.
Today's the 6th of February, and it's with my great pleasure that we have Anna Garnett on the show. And Anna's an advocate for natural healing, and she's going to share, or you're going to share your story about how you healed fibromyalgia naturally. And I know there's so many people that suffer with that complaint. And you did it with the bees. So you're sort of embracing your life through the creation of dreaming, the healing gift of bees. So, you know, I'm always looking different ways to help people and myself naturally. So I can't wait for you to share your story. So without further ado, would you like to start at the very beginning, where you were born, because I know it wasn't in the UK, and share your story?
Good morning and good evening once again. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really grateful to be here with you guys today and share that great achievement. The story started a long time ago when I was born in Poland. In a place where before I would call forgotten by God.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yes, that was. I grew up in a society where there was lack of many things, but today I see that was a great place to grow, to take a chances, for many things. But if you allowed, I will start. The story in a different place, and I will come back in a sometime. That was I will start from the moment when my body start knocking me with the pain here and there, and without reason. I would say at that time, I totally don't have a clue what's going on. The only thing I knew. I was working very hard, and I connect the pain and the other symptoms to that reason. The first thing which I done, obviously, that was a visit GP. I received some medications and happy went go away because I thought that pain will stop, and I managed to go back to my work. But week by week, month by month, that doesn't change. Symptoms not disappeared. Actually, they was stronger. And I noticed that I had a trouble to feel my feet on the ground. My head was more like, wheezy.
Fuzzy?
Yeah. And then after a few months, the situation was that hard that I spent many days at home. Many medication has to take. The medication becomes stronger and stronger, and bigger dosage. And a few months later, it was that bad that I have to give up with my work. Then. Obviously,
he's all right. No, it's all right. He wants to be in on the show.
Yes,
it's live.
And my life was changed drastically. I was fit person working silly hours, and then when I was trapped at home in a pain, that wasn't me, and I didn't agree for that. And that was about 4 years in a living this way, when I do not understand things. but I have to have it. Then finally, I was diagnosed by a rheumatologist with fibromyalgia. Something what I never heard before. In a clinic, the doctor gives me 2 leaflets. One was fibromyalgia, one was arthritis, and she says, "Okay, better read them all carefully because that is part of your life now." And she just left. She left me there.
Thanks a bunch.
Yeah, thankfully there was a nurse who's take my blood before, and she my concern, and she just found me lost there, and she explained me that I basically was diagnosed, and the journey carry on. I went home.
How young were you at the time?
That was a 36, 5, something like that. Yeah, and then the worst was just become. I've been given medications like gabapentin, progabalin, and stuff like that, and very strong antidepressants as well. None of them help with pain, and I know that different people experience different symptoms and different pain. But with me, that was like end of life for really. I peed. My body was washed by my daughter. I was carried, and I dropped food. I was really useless and painful. And on the end of the story, I just asked God to just take me away because that wasn't life. And I had 3 young children that time, and they not deserve for that kind of life. I wasn't mom, I wasn't wife, I wasn't even human anymore. And in the time, I was 37, 8 on the end, maybe 9. I don't know now. I feel like a very, very old person in a care home who's need a full care for real. And constantly, like that was called chronic migraines. I vomiting, and even if I manage to speak, had a conversation, it's become to the moment when I start make a sounds like very drunk person who's not managed to talk properly. And then if I had a good day that time, my walking was with 2 crutches, about 5 minutes, and that's it. That was my limits. I didn't see any point to be alive for real. Instead of ending, is just
beginning.
Just beginning happened. Yes. And the first thing which was happened, I threw out all medications. I don't know where I get the strength from. Really don't. I didn't understand what's happened. I just knew things, and I followed that. And that's what is important for me to say now. I wasn't guided by any medical specialist, and I heard later on that I shouldn't do things this way. I don't know. I just feel I have to do it, and I do it. That was my own responsibility. That was my decision, and I take it that as a chance. What worse can happen to me that time?
Yeah.
And in my head, I see some clear picture of a few hives in the middle of the field, which was next to my house. And I shared that with my husband. And I thought the reason for that was because my daughter ate a lot of honey, and then it would be good to have our own honey. But was difficult to find someone who will introduce me to the bees and bees to my life. And a few months later, it's managed to know Stilian, who's the guy who's become my mentor. And and he also told me that in his country people heal with bee venom. I was very afraid to make any pain for myself, and he was the first one who started stinging me, which I'm very, very grateful for that. And I see the results very quick. There wasn't only bee venom, because during the hives inspections, I breathed the air, and that was effect on my mental health as well, because my body, my mind went calmer than was normally. It wasn't that much stress. I feel, so chill and relax, be around the bees. Also, the same time, I threw out all chemicals from the house. That was, stuff for a cleaning, even washing powder, which that was a big argument with my husband that time, because he is the person who's like the brands and stuff like that. And I become a freak. And I grew my own veggies, all food. I was grow on a place. I was very lucky to live in the right place that time. And I do not remember many situations. I don't need to remember them, but my daughter brings to memories the moment when I work in a garden on my knees, so struggle to move, but I was so desperate to do the job. And there was lots of effort. That wasn't easy journey, but month by month that my condition went better and better. And then I start seeing more colors around me, see different perspective, and I start feel not a victim of my illness anymore. I just, there was first of all, there was a neutral ground, okay, was, but isn't now that bad, going better and better and better. And then a few years after, I see only benefits of that, what was happened. With bees, I think they play a huge role in my life, huge, because that helped me reduce the pain and finally say goodbye to the pain. I managed to get my life back, and I found my purpose. And some people say is that so cruel and you shouldn't do this way, and I hear that opinion because it is controversial. Many bees whose help to me, they end up their life, but Stilian told me how to recognize the right bees, who's nearly finished their journey, and then they will end up anyway. And I didn't that because I want to. I just simply don't have a choice. And I see the only way to help myself. And I understand that they have a healing properties for some reason. That is very, very short description. Like I become from ill person to the quite fit person again. It's obviously not the same state like I was before, but I'm not care about it. I am more wise. I know differently. I understand differently. I see differently. And I really highly recommend it to think, to search about different ways of healing, and listen to your own body, what the body wants to show us, tell us before any illness appears, because it's a long time before the illness happened, before the diagnosis, when our body starts communicating to us. I was too busy to not see. That is a one theory, but the other is I wasn't ready to hear my body. And happened what happened.
It's like stages, isn't it? You know, like there's so many of us have had different illnesses, and we've been at a point where we just can't go on anymore. And, you know, you just pray for help and or whatever. And then things start changing, and then awareness comes in, and then you start changing things. And like we were talking before, the illness is your greatest gift. It's like a wake-up call, isn't it? So how much do you think the drugs of the side effects of the drugs affected you? Because obviously you took quite a lot of medications, didn't you?
Yes, that was horrible. I started get problems with the chronic migraines. That was one of them, because I was, you know, constantly sick, and my tooth was damaged. And then my digestive system was really, really bad condition. There was a bad to tests of my pancreas. I become troubles with my bladder. Then all my body was, you know, devastated, and it was really long time for me to recover. When I saw some of the clothes after my illness, I was just, oh gosh, how I was looking. There was like bones with skin, you know, and it was hard to sit on my own butt because the bones was, you know, so sore, and my hips bone was, I couldn't wear a jeans because my hip bones was affected by, you know, it was really, really bad. And the other way, my mental health, because my condition with pain and all that, what happened, then after the illness, I couldn't look on myself, even, you know, horrible. But the drugs, that was horrible in my case, because fibromyalgia, like I've been told, that is a rheumatoidal problem. It's not. That was an emotional problem. My soul was ill, was not ill. My soul tried to, you know, give me a signs. Wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. I was constantly in a cage, mental cage, since I remember. And there wasn't nothing what should be cured with drugs. And the drugs was just affected my body in a nasty way. Wasn't helpful at all, because none of them help with pain. There was only some kind of stuff which I was, you know, some injections was given to me, then put me to sleep for a few hours. That was only moment when the pain was reduced. But that stuff was, you know, given to me in a hospital. Then come to the moment when I heard, sorry, it's just your fibromyalgia. It's not emergency things. Your husband have to take you home back. And yeah, the story was finished. And I think that the most that was the hardest situation, which, you know, brings me idea to end up my life, was 2 episodes. One, when my husband took me to the hospital, and there was a little son with us. And I remember a scene when I was on the floor in a pain, waiting for somebody to see me. And my son was, sat on me, on top of me, and he says, "Mom, please don't give your head explode." With his dark, big eyes, full of tears, and that was devastated. And the other time when GP saw me, there was a moment when, again, my husband took me to GP, and I remember I heard everything. I couldn't open my eyes, and I couldn't, hold my body, and I couldn't speak. And my husband explained what's happened, and I just heard, "You better take her home, keep her in a dark room, because I never see nothing like that, and I don't know how to help her."
Wow.
And that was at the same GP who see me for a few years since the fibromyalgia adventure started. And first of all, he's ignored me. Really, I feel like an idiot every time when I was in the practice. And then finally he said, "Oh, you have to live with that. Oh, you may end up on a wheelchair," and stuff like that. Then stuff like that from him. And I think that was the time when I just said to myself, enough is enough, that it can't be this way any longer. And that was the moment when I said, "Okay, just take me. I had enough." And the funny thing is, the death, that was something what scares me most before.
Right.
I was afraid, really afraid, because I couldn't imagine how things will be. I just thought that's it, finished, and nothing else.
Yeah.
And,
So, because obviously that was the frame of mind you were in there, but you obviously don't feel like that now. You don't fear death.
No, I do understand differently, and I know it's just transformation process. It's just change. It's another stage. It's another stage. It sounds weird, especially for those who will hear me and who knows me and my opinions before, the way like I was. I can't even imagine what in their heads will become. But I'm not here really.
No, and we're all at different stages of the journey of, the way we do things, and we can look at people and think, what in the hell is she doing? Why did she do that? But we do what's right for us at the time, without making judgment. Well, whether we're right or wrong, what we do is our soul's journey, and it's apart from the illness being a gift, it's the people that we meet along that way. It's like they're all in place. So when you're ready to, like, say, right, take me, I can't cope no more. And I know so many of us that have been ill and in accidents and all sorts of things, just saying, I can't cope with this pain anymore. Because, if you haven't been there, you've got no idea of what these things are like. And then, but then once you sort of like have your wake up call, if you like, or your soul's like waking you up, come on.
There was a huge smacks, and then I'm where I am. I'm not sure if I like anymore that wake up call or soul wake. It's just more like I found myself again.
Exactly.
I heard myself, and I followed that inner voice, which was so little, so quiet, but in that moment when all distractions was taken away from me, I wasn't responsible for nobody, nothing, because I was too ill. I had the time when the voice, the time happened when that little voice had a chance to go through all that, loud enough for me to hear. And we all feel differently, even if we're going through similar stuff. Some of them will prefer this way, some of this way, and we all have our
but
own difference.
And that's it. And we can all help each other from the journey we've been on. Like I could say, well, I've taken this and I took that, and that helped. And I'll give a quick example. I went to Egypt in October, end of September, October, and God, what a trip! That I came back with. I was fine. I was climbing up through ladders in tunnels, through the King's Chamber, and round the Sphinx, and all these amazing things. And it was just, to stand in front of the pyramids was like, just to be there. It was just incredible. I can't tell you the feeling in my soul.
You have to be there.
Exactly. It's nothing like the pictures. The pictures are lovely, but to see these, pyramids just standing there. Anyway, I came back with double pneumonia, and I came back so hang on, I can't read that a minute. Anyway, I came back so ill, but I had to see the doctor, and I had to have antibiotics and God knows what else. And what was the other thing? And then I had to have breathing apparatus because my oxygen had dropped so low, and all of these things. But the side effects now, I'm still dealing with because I had no choice, because I was so ill. I needed something to start my body, or I wouldn't have been here. The side effects, I've lost my hair, I've had thrush, and I've still got thrush in my mouth. My tongue's all sore. And I know, like, I've got a friend that works in Harley Street, and she said, when you take antibiotics, it wipes your gut flora out, and it'd take you 6 months to rebuild. So I'm, and it could be shorter or whatever. So I'm taking probiotics, prebiotics. I'm taking colloidal silver. I'm taking so many different things. I can't think what they are now, but I'm definitely so much better. But I'm still dealing with like the fungi in the mouth, which it causes. And, but they have their place. But at the time, you have to take some of these things to give your body a helping hand. But then you have to deal with the side effects afterwards, which is not always that pleasant, are they?
Yeah, it's fair enough if they help you with some stuff, but it is side effect that is, but sometimes we need them. And I do understand that way. It's fair enough. But when you have to take something, or you're given to take something, what will not help you is just, checking. That is too much. That is too much. And but I have to learn that on my own example.
Yeah.
To
it's like, well, how can we do it differently now? Because if I had that experience again, just talking, I'm not choosing that again. If you haven't got, because obviously I was in another country and I didn't have half of the little bits and pieces I take, then you've got no choice. But then you've got to deal with replenishing what's happened to you. But, it's like, well, what else could I have done at the time to have cleared all this from me? Like, and sometimes unless you
simply.
Yeah.
The best choice is to take it. But it's important to remember what I learned on my example too, is it's important to not feel guilty of your choice, because in that moment I choose the best options with my knowledge, with my, I choose the best what I manage in that time.
Yeah.
And it would be silly to carry on to feel guilt, or I shouldn't take it. If I knew that what I know now, it will be different story, different journey, but I didn't. Same with you. You will manage to build your microflora, and you will be fine.
Well, that's right. I'm still working on that, but it's like work in progress. And, you know, I'm aware of like being of the elder stages of life, if you like. Things don't
mature, Andrena, mature.
mature. Things don't they don't heal quite so fast. So right, bizarrely, some prescription drugs admit a possible side effect is death. Well, hello. What can you say? And you know, when you read the side effects of some of these things, it's like, what? I'd rather have what I got than have all these side effects, because you don't know. You know, they have to list everything, but you don't know, one of those things just might affect you big time, eh?
Yes, bigger than the others. And but again, when we trust to people, you know, take care of us about our health, they know best, they do best what is in our interest.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it doesn't work this way. They may do best what they know, but it's not necessarily our best interest. It was in my case anyway. I don't know other people's cases, and not every person who prescribed medication is the same and work from the same position. I had a chance to meet a wonderful consultant on a near end of my fibromyalgia journey, which I see still twice a year. I had a blood test to control how things going, and I must say he's I think he is impressed what I achieved, because there was a moment. Because I was a moment when I heard from him, are you still using the things? And I say, yeah, I do. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, because I know some say to you, well, and what did I experience? Oh yeah, I went to the opticians because I take some liquid, which we call liquid gold. I take some turmeric and curcumin drops. And I went to the opticians. I hadn't seen him for 2 years, and my eyesight hasn't changed. I don't need to wear glasses. And I've noticed since taking these drops, I can read the tiny print down the bottom. I've never been able to do that before. Anyway, he said to me, well, whatever you're doing, he said, bottle it up and sell it. And I laughed. I said, well, that's exactly what I promote and sell, you know. And so, you know, it's nice when you've got somebody in tune with what you're doing, because I said I do alternative things to the best of my, you know, ability. So, yeah. So have you gone back to your doctor? And
I never see GP since 2018. The only person who I see is the consultant in a hospital clinic. Like I said, for tests to you know, check how my condition is. I'm not on any medication since that time when I tried. There was once I was on some anti-inflammatory tablets for 5 days, because that was my body again informed me about something which was too much for me to cope with the pain. And that was a winter. I couldn't manage to use a bees, because I don't, you know, touch them during the winter, on only the season time. And there was a 5 day on medications, and that was, I don't know, that was 2021, something like that, but only 5 days, and nothing else.
So have you got bees in your garden? Have you got hives in your garden or nearby?
Yeah, I have bees close to me, a few here and few other places. Yeah.
And because I know I went somewhere with my sister, and the lady, she used to go to Ireland, I think, and she came back with honeycomb, and she said it's like about £100 for a tray. And anyway, she gave us some. Oh my God, it was delicious. I couldn't stop eating the stuff.
Yeah, the story with honeycomb is like, we extract the honey, we take of the top of wax of it, the essential oils during the spinning time was, evaporated. When you have them in a honeycomb, they still, capped with the wax. And when even when you open the jar and the real honey, is in your mouth, you manage to just feel it, all that, the flavors of different plants. It's like a symphony, really, in your mouth. And then you imagine when you have all that essential oils, which is still kept in a honeycomb. That is beautiful.
Yeah,
I just, when we just started and it's sun like that here, I just wish to be, next to the hive, open it and just sniff what's going on there. Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So what do you make with your honeycomb? Oh my God! I tell you what, if you haven't tried it, get 15% off there. Yeah. So do you market? Do you make honey? Do you sell it, or what do you do with all your honey?
At this moment, we're going quite well with carnibis. That was my first hives was located in a carniwood, and that's why the name carnibis. And then we create a, I don't know, society, community. Is carnibis is not like only a business. It's more than that. It's just to show the real role of bees in our life as a healers and teachers as well. It's more like a lifestyle for me than just a business. But we, on our website at this moment, you could get like a pure honey, infused honey, which that is a honey mixed with natural ingredients like a fruit, spices, herbs. Bee pollen, I'm not sure. We're not good with stock because that is a limited stock, obviously. And beeswax candles. What else is, which is not on a website, because obviously not everything we allow to sell, but I'm happy to use in my house in the family. I do some ointments with bee products, tinctures, and that is our medicine here.
Yeah. So Carol's asking, how does Manuka honey compare to your honey, if you like?
I will not speak about Manuka honey, sorry. For me, personally, it's just big marketing. Right. If I have a choice, personally, if I do not have a piece right now, and I have a choice to choose that honey and honey from beekeeper who I know and whose bees in a forest area, stuff like that, I will go for that forest honey.
Yeah, that makes total sense, really. Yeah.
That would be my choice, but everyone, differently, and everyone have their own choices.
Because I know you mentioned then that you can't sell everything or you can't do everything. Is this sort of different
regulation?
Regulation,
and then the other stuff.
Not wanting you to share all these wonderful things.
But
okay.
Because I have hives in my life, I have bees in my lives, I have my own clinic.
Yeah.
And the prevention, that's what is important. Obviously, when you have symptoms, when you have some kind of disease, you have to treat yourself, heal yourself. But then it's important to prevent anything. And like some people come to buy a honey, and And I heard the story, oh, I bought last year, still in a cabinet. What a point to have it. Honey doesn't work this way. When you have it, take it. This way you build up your immune system, and then your body will be response different way. Because if you wait until you're ill, until you have cold or flu or whatever, and you strike it, it's a bit late. It's a bit late.
Yeah, that's a valid point. And you saying that I've got honey in the cupboard, but I haven't taken any. You know, probably when I've got a cough or something, I'll take honey, lemon, and ginger or what have you. So so thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, because I know people like take honey for coughs, you know, soothing. Right, what is the best way to store honey? In a cool, dark cupboard at room temperature, or because it doesn't have to be in the fridge, does it?
No. You have to remember that cold temperature will help set the honey quicker and will become hard. The dark, cold cabinet is a perfectly fine. Always remember, no, you know, take with your finger, licking finger, no double dabs, like you know, use spoon. Keep it clean. Keep it clean, because if you add something to the honey, the new life will become in a jar.
What about like it crystallizes some of them on the top, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a natural process. It's a natural process. And then give me a second. I will check if I still have a jar with some beautiful design on it, because some people are afraid. 2 seconds, okay?
Yeah, okay. I should have to start taking me honey again.
Yeah, I've got honey. I've got a lot of bee pollen. Bee pollen's full of protein, you know. So
I got bee pollen.
So
and what am I taking? Bee propolis at the moment as well.
Yeah, well, bee pollen is really strong in protein. It's a lot stronger than 1 little teaspoon, bigger than a steak. But I was just going to ask her, because you guys are up in a different part of the world with a different climate. Obviously, you know, we've been going through 37 degrees here, 36. So, you know, keeping the honey in the fridge. We just bring that up.
Unfortunately, I don't have it. Sorry. That is when you see the white, like is a frost on your window. You see some kind of patterns. Sometimes on the jars with honey, you have similar patterns too, and it's perfectly fine. It's just that, you know, it shows you that honey is alive. Is everything fine and wasn't, you know, destroyed by temperature or nothing like that.
Right. Jeff, did you want to ask your question? Because I know we've had a few questions come up.
Yeah, so you've been speaking about putting it into the cupboard, but your temperature is a lot different to us. We've just gone through a lot of 35, 36, 37 degrees here, and we haven't had the humidity as such. A lot of us keep our bread and our honey in the fridge.
Okay, that is the reason. But temperature up to 40 degrees is okay for a honey. Up to 40.
40. Okay.
Up to 40.
Yeah, I've got a couple of beekeepers or avarists that I work with, and Andrew dropped in a whole lot of bee pollen. I was just saying to Andrena, I said, you just have a little teaspoon of that bee pollen. It's fresh as well as dehydrated. And God, you can really feel the protein. It's really high in protein, you know. So it sells for 90 Australian dollars here. It's about, I think it's 250 ml jar. But one of those teaspoons is, you know, like equivalent to a steak. So
bee pollen, that was something what helped me regulate my body mass. Because I tried to, you know, after the illness, my body was off every minerals, vitamins, everything. Like I said, I was bones and skin, and I start eat everything on a different time of the day, wherever I managed, just to put a weight on, and I couldn't. And then when I start it, first of all, there was a bee bread, because that is a bee pollen which is in a hive, in the frames. Then bees add the honey enzymes and they're going through the fermentation process, and then it's called as a bee bread. It's a stronger, has a stronger properties than bee pollen, and that was something what I ate quite often, and then that's why I noticed that the stuff changing with me. And that was really, really good.
Now, the photo behind me, we've got 2 bees in there. So that's Australian grevilleas. So you can get different honeys depending on where the hives are in terms of flowering shrubs and trees like callistemons and grevilleas. So and you can get the gums. So you get a whole range of different forms of gums. Different forms of honey here. In your part of the world in Scotland, based on the climate, when's your peak production then?
Everything depends on the weather. We had sometimes very difficult seasons, like last year. Spring for my bees was great. Then become very, very hard time when I have to feed them. And then end of the summer and early autumn was beautiful, and hives was overflow with productions. Year before, all year was good for me. And everything depends. Everything depends.
Because I notice, like, if I've been out walking, like when it's summery time, what is it, the buddleia? I mean, and there's different plants and bushes that the bees love. And I mean, I just love just seeing, like, when there's so many in the noise. But I've noticed more and more that the insects, with all the different things people are spraying and using, there's not such an abundance of bees and insects, is there, like there used to be? Are you finding that there's a decline?
It's quite obvious because people using a different stuff for the gardens and fields. I looking for a place. I was found places where it's forest and wild meadows, and then humans not have a reason to use any sprays there. I had a chance to have a hives on a farmer's field, which was friend of mine, and then they want to have a bees because they don't want to use any chemicals on a field. That's why bees was helpful for them. It's not easy, and one, because some people don't understand what chemicals cause and that they action cause. They really don't understand. And the worst thing is some people choose this action even they know the consequences. That is the worst.
And that's a sad way, but you can't do anything because it's their journey, it's their way. So how many beehives have you got?
Not enough.
in progress.
But I have to keep a lower numbers, because for me it's not a problem to have a huge amount of the hives. Like I said, I prefer prevention, and if I'm not managed to look properly into my bees, I don't want that many because I don't want to illnesses. I not use any chemicals in the hives, and I will not. That's why it's my choice. But the amount of honey which we need, we're lucky to have wonderful people like my mentor in our life, and then we cooperate with people like himself, like hobbyist beekeepers from our area, which we we can go and see the bees anytime. We know the people, and we know the way like they look after them. And
yeah. And have you planted extra trees or bushes for the bees?
everywhere where is possible. Everywhere where is possible. Even my, around my house, some plants with some kind of bushes, and then and when you eat an apple, just collect the seeds and then throw them here and there, or the plums or whatever.
Right.
I was going through all my photos around the world, and because I remember being up around Birmingham, and went out to a place, and they had the black and white bumblebee, and I was trying to find that photo, and I couldn't find that photo, and I was just getting a bit peeved off on that one. But I can't recall it because it was going around all the different flowers. Do you ever get that type of pollen that comes from that particular bumblebee, the black and white one?
You know what? I don't have a clue about bumblebees. I know that some keep a nest in the trees, some under the ground, some in the people's sheds, some in the people lofts. The only thing I know about them, which I saw, they collect bee pollen too, because I saw on their own legs like bees. Yes. But I have plenty of them here on my plants in the garden during the season, and they loud. Some of them bigger than the others, and some of the straps different colors as well. But it's the only thing which I know about bumblebees. Sorry, I'm just freak of the honeybees, and
You get stingless bees. We get stingless bees here.
I know they exist, but I never saw them in my place.
And have you been stung at all?
What?
Myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, quite often.
You're not immune to the sting.
That's why I have a conversation with you guys.
What about hornets? Do they collect honey, or are they just aggressive?
Sorry, could you repeat it?
What about the hornets?
I don't know much about them as well. Just they nasty to our bees, and they damage quite many people. They manage to damage hives too.
Right. Hey, this fellow was telling me that
Jeffrey, many beekeepers are afraid of the hornets, and they make some kind of traps for them. But I don't have a chance to meet any of the guys, and I don't need them in my place. Then they not.
In the show there, you mentioned that you feed your bees. So I've been told about one of our major sellers of honey here in Australia, and they import rice syrup, and they bring it in 1,000 litre tanks, and then they bottle it and send it out to their avarists, who then place it outside the hive, and so then the bees come and get the rice syrup and then take it into the hive. Then they say it's made in Australia. Do you go to that extent of importing the syrup?
I don't have a clue. I not use that kind of practice, and sorry. I know beekeepers here, they make a sugar syrup to feed their bees, and is available something what is called like it's some kind of sugar cake which beekeepers used for feed the bees.
Yeah.
Right. Colin says I healed that through a sheer bloody-minded approach. It worked, but wouldn't recommend it for the faint-hearted.
I do not recommend nothing to nobody, guys. Sorry, because I'm not apitherapist practitioner. No. I'm not medical professionals. You have to do your own search. You will hear about Dr. Stefan Stangaciu. People like himself, those people is, able to recommend or not recommend anything, obviously, if you're in touch with them. But I'm not in a position to recommend nothing. Just search and find your way.
Yeah. And we have got Dr. Stefan coming on. I think it's May. Not sure. I've got the list with me. Anyway, John says, I have a friend that has about 3,000 beehives. He puts them along rivers away from big farms that spray poison. Bees will go to the healthiest plants and rivers, has different flowers throughout the summer.
Lovely.
He's talking about 3,000. I was brought to my awareness that Australia has 500,000 hives. Australia, only 500,000. I say only because New Zealand has 1 million hives, but India has 9 million hives, and Turkey has 7 million hives. I mean,
wow.
Yeah,
it's incredible when you listen.
Yeah. It just shows you how important it is to have bees there for the pollination and bringing through the plants and nurturing in it. And, you've been talking about trying to get into properties there where the bees are getting the good nutrients rather than being sprayed by cloud seeding or other pesticides in it. So it's just trying to find that virgin land.
The difficult in some parts. No, that's why I'm lucky here.
Yeah. So, when you look back that, where you were so ill and ready to opt out, and obviously that wasn't going to happen because you had a much bigger purpose. And when you look back now to where you were then to where you are now, and the steps and the people you've met, it's an incredible journey, isn't it, when this happens, so that you're able to give back, you're able to help people that come to you, and you're sharing your bees, and you've got happy bees, which is very important. So it's just amazing, the different people I think that come into play along the path when you start doing this. And then somebody says, oh, have you tried this? And then it's the little stepping stones and the connections that to where you are today with what you're doing.
Yes, every one of them has the role in our life. Even that doctors who's, did what they did or didn't what I would like they did, they just, was those triggers for me to take actions.
Yeah, of course.
That was important. And that was my illness. During that time, I lost so many people from my life as well, because I thought that I had so many friends just because I was overgiver. I always take care of other people.
Other people.
Yes, I was
and
other people.
That's the learning curve, isn't it? It's like fill your own pot up first, and then you can be of service.
In my case, wasn't possible because since I remember, I was that person who's taken care of others, has responsibility for others. And I wasn't learned. Nobody shows me that I have to look after myself, and it's possible to look after myself. Then that is something what I learned during the illness, the boundaries, to recognize my needs. And after that, my worth as well. Like everything was, built up very, very slowly, but looks like it was built well.
So can I ask you, were you using, what happened there? Sorry.
What happened there? Where did that come from?
I was checking there with it. When you come to the honey, were you taking that as a poultice and rubbing it on your skin, and use it like for shampoo, or were you orally taking it?
Depends what I need, Jeffrey. I like yesterday and the other day I made a body scrub, which I add honey into it. And because I make my own oils, fresh press oils, I use the oils to the scrub as well. And then the other stuff which come from the oils that become body scrub for me, my friends, and my children.
Yeah.
If I need a soap, make a soap, then or my friends make it as well, because we're in a group where people make the stuff by itself.
Mm.
And then I add my wax, my honey too. I have a lovely friend. She's make a chocolate, and she make a chocolate with our honey and like a tiny praline. Yes,
Sounds neat.
and chocolate with our bee pollen, and that is amazing too. It's just beautiful, and like what we can create with that what we have. And even I didn't have a knowledge about things. I learned everything, from really basic from the start, and there was so many not right endings, so many disappointed moments. Like, for example, soap, that wasn't that problem, but if you make some shampoo which make your hairs more greasy than they was before, that's a funny situation. But just not give up. Try. If you did this way and that results was this way, what can I do differently? What I can change? Kind of ingredients I can add or swap or take away, or the proportion change. That can be beautiful journey if you allow yourself. Obviously, some people not build this way. Some people will not find that way, excited and interesting.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That other people can do it, then find the right people who's doing that stuff, or give you some advice or whatever. Everything is possible.
Now, there's a guy in Australia down in northern New South Wales. He came up with a hive. It's got a tap on it, and the actual, you've seen that. That's pretty awesome, isn't it?
So easy, but I prefer open my hive, say hello to my bees, see how they manage, create their hive, the house, then sniff the air breathe the air from the hive, to have them on top of my hands, and then I prefer this way.
Oh, that sounds lovely, doesn't it? It's natural. It's connecting with nature, isn't it? Which is important.
So did not. Sorry, Andrea.
Well, I was going to say she's a human bear, isn't she?
A beer.
I didn't realize. Look, like we can be connected with nature, and then it's just like, it may sound crazy, but sometimes it's like a video in a head. You see sort different things, and then have an answer for questions which was somewhere deep in you for a long time, for a stuff which do not understand. But it's just allow yourself to be connected, to be there, to experience, without hurry, without hush, without all that distractions.
Was there any other questions that we talked about? The bubbles, we talked about the storage. What was the other thing I was going to say? I was going to say something in a minute. Oh yeah, do you ship overseas? Do you get many overseas?
I will not say right now, because that difficult situations in some parts somewhere. I don't have a clue what's going on for real, because I'm out of TV, I'm out of the radio. I don't have any information from the world. Just some friends say some, said something, and here and there. I don't have a clue what's going on. But we, in a previous time, yes, we sent some stuff to America, to France, and some other places. But most of the stuff happened in UK. I don't know really how the situation is right now, but it's safer if I say UK.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but if someone is interesting, then it's better if they send that request or to girls, that's my daughters, and then they will give the informations which they need.
Yeah. And so your children help you doing all this?
It's my daughter, she's like a brain of the operation because she's a business person. I'm not. I'm not. We're just like a perfect team, And we have great Rebecca, which support us from the very beginning. They two best friends, and I call Rebecca my foster daughter. she's absolutely wonderful as well.
So you've got a lovely community up there of working together.
Wonderful friends who support us all the time. And the groups, the people which we join for our events together, they just right people.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's more and more people coming together as community, working together, sharing, caring, and networking, isn't it?
Yes, and more people asking, they seeking for right products, right solutions, or the way where to find the guidance, where how they manage to find the ways. And what is beautiful, because they not staying in a position when they victims and people have to take responsibilities of them. They start doing their own. That is a great.
Yeah. Right. Carol said about Einstein said, I think something like, when we lose the bees, that's the end of humanity. There's a right.
I hear that, but not from the Einstein. I see that stuff from on internet sometimes. Maybe, I don't know. It's like people afraid. Then is a pollination problem. If we lose the bees, I think that is something more just the pollination, because a clever people manage to create more and more food without bees. Actions. What is in my head is, if I don't have a bees in my life, my clinic gone.
Yeah.
I see that this way.
Yeah. But there's so much changes happening in the world, on the planet. You just, what was said then may not be relevant now, eh?
Yeah.
And not give it any energy. So anyway, I don't think I've got any more questions to ask you, but it's been an absolute delight learning about the bees and how you've healed yourself and what an inspiration you are to others. So I can't thank you enough for sharing, and it's been an absolute delight. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for the invitation, and I'm really hope that was helpful for somebody, and never give up.
Yeah, and people will be going to get their honey jars out of the cupboard now. I know I will.
Yeah, the temperature over 40 degrees will kill enzymes in the honey, and this way it become only sweetener without benefits. But if you have too hot in Australia, which was weird for me even imagine now. I have a frost. I have a frost there. Beautiful day.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think Jeffrey looks nice with the headdress on his head.
Yes, yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
And it goes with your shirt.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, we've had the sheep go maa, and we've had the cat in the background. So It's just
Yeah,
part of nature,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Bit of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being our guest this week, and I wish you well on your journey, and thank you for sharing. So an end of another amazing show. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and same time, same place next week.